All right, man. Check this out. Anthony Edwards, after missing the Pistons game the other night, is ineligible for in-season awards. Apparently, he played 59 games, but only 58 counts. So they didn't really specify that in the article that I read on why that is. But maybe minute restriction. He didn't get enough minutes for it to clear as a game. Like I said, I understand the rule. I kind of agree with the rule. Maybe it should be amended a little bit. And you might be like, why do you agree with it? Because people need to go to work. And so many times you see people complaining, talking about, well, it's a dead end job, or I don't want to work. And at the end of the day, you can't afford to be lazy. And this is why, people tax dollars don't go where you want them to go to. They going towards lazy individuals. Now, some people that's disabled, there's some people that can't, but it's a lot of these people who, especially younger people who will and able, I don't want to work. And when I was growing up in the black community, if you wasn't going to work, going to school, or at least trying to get a job or do something productive, you got kicked out the house. You know what I'm saying? You got kicked out the house. And now you in a generation where these parents, especially these single mothers, they coddling the children. I was talking to a guy and he was telling me that the parents are now going on a job interview with the kids, the young adults. And I'm like, what? So at the end of the day, they have to, you have to do things that you don't want to do to survive. You have to do things you don't want to do to get to where you want to be at in life. And that's what people don't understand. And if you don't deal with it while you're young, you can take the long hours, the abuse, or you can just pay your dues when you're young. Like, bro, when you older, you're going to be 30, 35 years old, homeless. Oh, why can't you find a job? If you don't build your portfolio while you're younger, and while you have your youth and work, it's just no point. Okay, be homeless then. But this is why a lot of people have an issue with giving homeless people money. Because some homeless people, some of them homeless people, they went to the war, they went crazy, or they had real sad stories. But you're gonna have a generation of homeless people, this Gen Zers and the later millennials. You're gonna have them homeless because they fucking lazy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't like about it. It's a generation of lazy people. And the NBA trying to send a message like, you got a dream job, you can't be lazy. And I believe Anthony Edwards is legit hurt. I believe Cade Cunningham is legitimately hurt. But once you kind of get into the realm of amending that rule a little bit or adjusting it, you're pretty much like, okay, how do we decide who's healthy and not healthy? This guy says hamstring hurt. How do we determine if it's see? And that's the problem. So you make it hardcore. If you don't play these 65 games, and should it be a little bit higher? Maybe a little bit. Should it be 60 games? 50? I guess 60 ain't bad. I guess I would say 60 because you can miss 25 games. But like I said, man, people need to go to work. Everybody just, they look at people that may own a business, or they look at the president and may say, oh, he don't do nothing. And in reality, that's not the truth. In the reality, the entrepreneur, the business, the person that run everything, it's more stressful than being an employee. Everybody ain't built to be a boss. Everybody be wanting to talk about, everybody ain't built to lead. Everybody ain't built to call the shots. Anybody, if the alarm go off at the business at 2 a.m, and you just, you ain't, and you just got off at 10 at night, you just got settled in your bed. Everybody ain't built to get up and go back to the business and see why the alarm going off. If Jackie don't show up and Jackie's sick today and you got to open the store up and you got to close it and be there for 12, 14, 15 hours straight without a break, everybody ain't built for that responsibility. Everybody ain't built to make the tough decisions and be cutthroat and get rid of people when you have to. Or you can't find nobody internally, so you got to hire somebody externally and everybody feeling a certain type of way. Or you got to discipline. Everybody ain't built for it. You see, Adam Silver ain't really built for that. He ain't built for that like what's my man, like David Stern was. He ain't stern enough. But, Anthony Edwards being ineligible, it really watered down the MVP race. It really does. But, at the end of the day, it was these young guys coming to the league. don't want to play. I didn't have a problem with Tim Duncan low managing or Ginobili and Tony Parker. I didn't have an issue with that, but people took that and ran off with it. These motherfuckers was old. And now you got young guys, I don't want to play when I go to Memphis, or I don't want to play when I go to Brooklyn, or I don't want to play when I go to Charlotte. And people see you once or twice a year when you go to those places, and you wonder why the TV ratings is down. When Minnesota and Detroit played the first time, not the second time, where they was on Prime. The first time they was on ABC, no Cade, no Anthony Edwards. Come on, man. And I know they both was legit injured, but that's becoming the common theme. You go see Memphis on 3-1-3 day, no Ja Morant. Come on, that's like you going to see a movie. They talking about Denzel gonna be in it, Leonardo DiCaprio gonna be in it, Ben Affleck gonna be in it, Samuel L. Jackson gonna be in it, Selma Hayek gonna be in it, and then you get there and they ain't in it. So we live in a wild time, bruh. I just don't be understanding, bruh. I really don't. You know, everybody feel like they don't have to pull their weight and pay their dues, even in industries in which freaking frack. I left my vest. I gotta turn around. Jeez Louis, I knew I was gonna fucking forget it. Man, I gotta turn around. But yeah, I knew for the most part that the NBA was gonna do something. And I'm not saying what they did was right. I'm not saying I agree with the rule 100%. There should be some adjustments. But man, to be honest with you, dog. I agree with it. But I'll probably say 60 games, but it's hard to give somebody an amendment and say, oh, he injured, but he not injured. Or he is injured and he not really injured. It's hard to say that. Then you open yourself up to lawsuits and stuff like that. But I don't know what else he can do, to be honest with you. And people can say it's stupid, but people need to go to work, bro. I don't understand why people sitting here, oh, I don't want to go to. Okay, how you gonna pay your bill? These parents need to stop coddling these kids, man. You either work, go to school, go to the military, or get out. I had so many people in my comment section. Oh man, what's the point of? Well, then don't live here on this planet no more. That's why I just don't understand. Don't live here no more. I legit don't understand what people say. Oh, what's the point of working a dead end? Y'all want to live lives where y'all going on vacations every day and you could fuck out of here, dog. I want to reward myself. Pay your bills and stack your money and get your credit up. And pay your dues and keep adding to your skills portfolio, you'll be able to do what you want to. But everybody want to live this lavish life that they don't deserve. But Anthony Edwards I don't like that, because Cade and Anthony Edwards, two of my favorite players. I don't like that, but rules are rules, man. Start bringing y'all asses to work, and we won't need these rules. But hit the link in the description. Find me everywhere: X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine piece.